1743, yeah?
You mean
1843. Oh, that's right, I'm lying. It was 1843. Sorry. God, well done, Mike. Good interjection there. I'm so crap at... See, I try research, but it doesn't work very well. It must have been 1843, you're right, but I'm sure I read something happened in 17. Oh man, I'm getting confused. 18 something or other then. Okay, around the Victorian era. Welcome to the very first BARKLIFE film. This is a park that I'm very familiar with. The dogs come here all the time. It's called Brandon Hill. And I thought I'll go to the entrance and it'll be really impressive if we can start there. It suddenly dawned on me there isn't really an entrance, you just sort of wander onto it. So here you go, here is the entrance to Brandon Hill. The first thing I'm going to do is show you something really lovely and magical. Walk this way. I brought you to this magical little glade because on the ground there are some fresh leaves and you can't smell it. I wish this was smell-o-vision. The dogs are doing lick-o-vision, but if it was smell-o-vision you'd know. There's a smell of wild garlic ransoms. The wild garlic, it's the beginning of February and they're already out. This must be like a little sun trap. Hey, like it is now. And so just standing here, it's glorious. It's just been raining as well, so you've got that sort of damp, fresh, garlicky smell. I think even the dogs appreciate it. There you go. There's a dog appreciating wild garlic and flowers by licking them. Come on, let's go and find Mabel. What's Mabel up to? Mabel! Where's Mabel gone now? I hear ya. Mabel! 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 What are you... Oh. Mabel! Ah. What have you found? I don't know. See, that is the thing with bringing Mabel to the park. If there's been someone here last night having a picnic, she'll find their leftovers and eat it and make herself sick. Stupid dog. Come on, Rufus. Rufus, do not jump in. Rufus, don't damage the flowers. Come on. It's not cool. Good doggy. Come on, dogs. Mentalists. This way. Come on. Hey Mabel, this way. The thing behind me, that beautiful tall tower, is called the Cabot Tower. And it was built in honour of a guy called John Cabot. And I'll tell you all about him when we get up there. But the most important thing is, they used to have a light at the top, very top of the tower, that flashed to warn airplanes it was there. And what it flashed was the word Bristol in Morse code. I found that out by doing some research. I'll tell you more about that later. I've been doing research about this park and it is most interesting. But first thing is, I mustn't lose the dogs. Rufus! Oh, there we go. Come on. I do love the dog's boundless enthusiasm. I mean, the weather's great too, but the fact the dogs are so excited, it's brilliant. Normally, this thing behind me is open. There's a door around the side, and you can climb all the way to the top and you get the most amazing views. But at the moment, obviously, we're not in normal times, so it's closed. I don't understand why it's closed, but there you go, hey-ho. Keeping you safe and all that. So there you go. So I was going to go to the top and we could have got the most amazing views, but instead I'll just stand here and say, it's very nice. And in this weather, there are some very nice views. Oh, there's a squirrel. The tower is just there. I was just standing next to it, the Cabot Tower. And this is just behind it. So we're at the very top of Brandon Hill. And as I said, I don't normally do research. if you've watched these films of mine before, you'll know, as Mike will vouch for me, I don't do research, but on this one I did, because it's called Brandon's Hill, and I didn't understand that, so I went away and checked it out, and apparently there used to be a little chapel up here dedicated to St Brendan, and the Bristolians got that confused, and it's now Brandon. So it used to be St Brendan's Hill, now it's Brandon Hill. But the most exciting thing for me is there's that sense of, when you stand here, there is definitely something weird about it. It's a bit like Glastonbury. You can sense there's more to it than meets the eye. So there used to be a chapel here where the tower is, and there also used to be a hermitage. So a hermit used to live up here, and obviously I still come walking around here all the time. And there is definitely a sort of stillness and quietness to this part of the top of the hill. And also, there's often a homeless guy with a little tent who parks up here and spends the night, and he's very nice. And so weirdly, it's kind of like he's a modern day hermit, living where hermits have lived for hundreds, if not thousands of years, in the middle of a modern city. Isn't that odd? But I'll tell you more of the history in a minute. This place is, I'm going to have to do research again. I'm loving it. Come on, dogs. We're just walking down from the tower and the hermit area, and we go past this wall, and if you look over this wall you'll see there's like a moat beneath it and a bank on the other side. And again, I did some research, and in the Civil War, I think it was, in this country, it's about sort of 17th century, well, for a start, let's go back in time a little bit. There was a chapel and a hermitage, and then I forget, I think it was the Reformation, they knocked it all down and got rid of it. But anyway, at some point they built a fortress up here, because there's a water supply up here. I mean, you've just seen the water feature, which is very pretty, but that's artificial water, they just pump it up. But there is actually somewhere up here, there's a spring. And so they built a fortress on the top of the hill. And in the Civil War it played an important sort of part, because Bristol was for the Parliament at first, and then the Royalists came, and the Royalists basically kicked their butt. And so there was a lot of fighting around here, and there are still remains of the fort. And I think this is part of it. There's the wall, the moat, and there's more down there we'll come to in a bit. So there you go, there's been exciting history going on here for hundreds of years. And you can definitely sort of smell it. You do have to watch where you're putting your feet. Slippery when wet and all that. Yeah, my dog. So this is the lookout, the hangout spot and the lookout spot in the park, because you've got an amazing view. The ground drops away, and you can see all of Bristol spread out before you. But here's the thing that I found really interesting. Here's the history lesson, right? History lesson. A long time ago, this land belonged to the Duke of Gloucester. Gloucester's a town about 50 miles north of here. So the Duke of Gloucester owned this hill. And he decided he didn't want it, so he gave it in 1174. He gave it to the municipality of Bristol. And he basically said to people, "Hey, have this land as common land, and I won't charge any money. You can do what you want with it," sort of. And they reckon, according to the people I read online, they reckon it's one of the first sort of basically public parks in the whole of the UK. And where I'm sitting now, because I've seen pictures of it, it's brilliant. They used to, the people used to come in, let their sheep graze, and they would come and wash their carpets and beat their carpets. And weirdly, I was doing that when I parked the car just around the corner. I was beating the carpets because they smell a dog. And I was thinking, wow, we've been doing this for like 900 years here. And also you could dry washing, make hay, and come and have a party. And that was in 1174. That started in 1174. But what he did, I just showed you the tower at the top there. The Duke of Gloucester said, you can have the whole of the hill, but I want to keep the top little tiny bit for the religious lot. So that's when they built the chapel to St Brendan, which is where we get Brandon's Hill, and also the hermits lived up there. And then after that, it became a fort, as I said, because there's a water source. And when there was still a chapel up there, they built a conduit, which is basically a pipe, from the well, which goes down Park Street all the way into Bristol, into the centre of Bristol. And there's still water that comes out of it. And apparently during the Blitz in the Second World War, it was one of the only water supplies they could trust, because the bombing knackered all the sort of human stuff we had with pumps. But they could still use the spring water from here. The St John's conduit, they could still use it. And what we might do, because after we've been here, of course after we've been here, we're going to go and find a cafe. And we are, because it's such an old park, we're surrounded by beautiful old sort of Georgian buildings, and there's a whole street of it called Park Street, very steep hill, with loads of cafes on. So we're going to go and pick one of those cafes, got to decide which one to go for. We are spoilt. But to get back to the history lesson, so that was then. They had a fort, they first of all had a church and then a fort, and in the Civil War there was fighting here, and there's still groundworks, yes, you can still see the moats and the ditches and the walls. And even now, this is still where people come to sort of hang out. I mean, I came here on the millennium, the year 2000, on the dot of midnight. I was here, a whole bunch of us were here, watching the fireworks over Bristol, and the place was rammed, full of people. And in 1743, I'm chock-a-block with facts, in 1743, 30,000 people from Bristol came and stood on this hill to watch the SS Great Britain, which is a huge ship built by Isambard, King of Brunel. It's the first steamship, made of steel, they thought it would sink. So they watched it sail away from where it was made. And that was 170, 80 years ago.
Did you say 1743?
1743, yeah.
What, you mean
1843. Oh, that's right, I'm lying, it was 1843. They watched the ship sail away, went around the world, had loads of adventures, and then they brought it back, did it up, and I'm looking at the ship, it's just down there. So that's what I'm saying about you can literally smell and taste, not just wild garlic, but you can smell and taste history in this place. And as I said, millennium, I was here watching the fireworks, and it was like a big party, it was brilliant. And this new year just gone, in this country, it was the height of lockdown and paranoia. And we came up here, my wife and I, on New Year's Day, and the place was just rammed with like bottles and cartons and stuff, because loads of people have been here celebrating New Year, which was fantastic, brilliant. The hope for humanity survives. And the even better bit was, as we were walking around, because we did a bit, we picked up a bit of litter and put it in the bin. There were people here doing it, and by the time we finished, they were literally around the bin behind me. There was like 18 carrier bags full of all the rubbish. People had come, and volunteers had come and collected all the rubbish and stacked it by the bins in bags. So there you go, if ever you're losing hope in humanity, go to your local park. I've been coming here for years, and it's only just dawned on me that this behind me, there used to be a water fountain, obviously. Just here, you could drink water. So it struck me, maybe that's the spring water. I think the spring's higher up, but maybe that's, they should let you drink the spring water here. It's never dawned on me that. I'm just going to quote what Mike said, because Mike doesn't come here as much as I do. And he's saying, look at those gates, aren't they lovely? And he said, actually, everything's lovely about this park. And he's right, it is. The houses are incredible. I guess they were Georgian. Fantastic houses. And everything, you can tell, in its day, it was marvellous. A little bit faded now. Aren't we all? See, the nice thing about this park is it ain't massive. It's basically just a hill and the bits around it, but there is a little bit of something for everyone. So I'm about to sort of go on and explore now. We're about to go past the playground where all the kiddies go and play. In fact, I go and play with my grandkids there. We hang out on the swings. And coming next, there's the play park. There's a play park for grown-ups. It's like an outdoor gym. And at the moment, with all the gyms being shut, my gym's shut, it's always full of people. Yeah, another place. Isn't it funny, you go somewhere with a camera and suddenly you start looking around more and noticing stuff. I've never noticed this path before, and I've never been down this path before. I'm not going to go down it today because we've got a cafe to get to, and the car park can run out. But I must explore that another day. Very nice. This lovely building is now the headquarters of the Avon Wildlife Trust. They kind of look after the sort of nature reserve side of the park. But it was built after the Bristol riots in 1831. We had a whole bunch of riots, and they built a bunch of little police stations to sort of try and quell the masses. Because that's the other thing I forgot to mention earlier. This hill was also where people used to come for protests. So if people were annoyed about anything, they'd have protests here. And apparently they were like protest picnics. Literally everyone would come and sit down and have dinner together and grumble about the government, which I think is marvellous. I think we should do it now. There's so much to grumble about. It's perfect. That tower at the top of the hill, Cabot Tower, I forgot to tell you why it's called Cabot Tower. It's named after John Cabot, who I've just read the date and I've forgotten it, 16 something or other, 17th century-ish. He sailed off from here to discover America. Now I'm confused because I thought it was Christopher Columbus, but apparently John Cabot. Canada was it he discovered? Newfoundland? I think so. Well, that's not the same at all. Anyway, he found somewhere. Newfoundland. Someone else obviously had found it and lost it. Come on. God, Mabel's just been trying to steal food off people. It's like we don't feed you at home, Mabel. So, this is the Tai Chi garden. There's no one doing Tai Chi, but there are people enjoying the sunshine and the birds. And the dogs are happy. Mabel's off again. She always does this. She finds people who are having a nice cup of coffee and maybe a biscuit or a croissant. And she hovers around looking for scraps or trying to hoover up crumbs that have fallen. It's just... She's a perpetually embarrassing dog, that's the truth of it. Thank goodness she's cute and everyone forgives her. And you're cute too, Rufus, yes you are. Come on then, let's go. Hi, cool dude. Oh, that's nice. Hey, I'm a cool dude. Mabel is nearly 9 years old, and she still hasn't twigged, after 9 years of living on this planet, that squirrels go up trees. So we're walking along the park, and you'll see a squirrel on the ground, and Mabel will run towards the squirrel runs towards a tree, and goes up the tree, and Mabel goes straight past the tree. And every time she comes back going, what happened? The squirrel disappeared. She's constantly befuddled and amazed that squirrels just disappear. If only I could explain it to her. I think Rufus has worked it out, but Mabel has not worked it out. Come on. Come on. Mind you, it keeps the squirrels fit. Oh, there is something I want you to film here, Mike. This is awesome. This is one of my favourite parts of the whole park. It's this little doorway here for a start. What was the doorway? Imagine where, I don't know where it went, but someone has very thoughtfully blocked it up. And someone from the council has come along and put up a sign. Bylaws apply here to help people enjoy parks and green spaces responsibly. You can just hear their tone of voice, can't you? And they've got a traffic light system. Green, permitted. Orange, amber, permitted only with consent. And red, not permitted. And look at that. I mean, I'll be honest, I've looked at this every time, it makes me laugh. I've never gone through it. All the stuff. Grazing, well, that's permitted with consent. Missiles, they're not allowed. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Barbecues, they are permitted. I did not expect that. Fishing is permitted, but since there are no fish that I'm aware of, that's really kind of them. They may as well say that talking to aliens is permitted. It's just, the whole thing's weird. But again, it totally sums up, doesn't it sum up a type of the clipboard Nazi? Sorry, Mike, don't turn the camera. There's a squirrel just behind you. And the dogs haven't seen it. It's gone now, it's in the shade. But yeah, there you go, isn't it? Clipboard Nazis, that's their idea of heaven. No, Mabel. Mabel's gone on strike. She doesn't want to let Rufus. He's just come up, gone the lead. Mabel. She is like I don't know whether she's demented or a stroppy teenager. You're too old to be a teenager, love. You must be slightly demented. Anyway, there you go. I'm now going to leave the park. So I hope you enjoyed that. I said this is our first BARKLIFE film. Let us know what you think. If you think we missed anything, we should do some it, because we're going to do some more. So let me know if you've got any ideas of things we could do to make them more interesting. And if the first comment is, Stan, you could shut up, I will be a little hurt. And I will be taking names. I feel like Captain Mannering now off Dad's Army. So there you go, and I hope you enjoyed it. The dogs did. Did you enjoy that, dogs? Now we're off to choose a cafe. As I said, we have 3 cafes to choose from. We have Mrs. Potts Chocolate House, we have Pinkman's, or we have Coffee Under Pressure. So which one are we going to go for, dogs? Come on. Bristol is blessed with many, many fine places to eat and drink. It is a foodie paradise. And I know this because one of the things I do is I write a weekly column. Get off my sausage pie. I do a weekly column called Cafe Society for a local magazine. And it's just about cafes in Bristol. So, like I said, we're on Park Street, which is very pretty. And there were 3 really nice cafes to choose from. And it was a bit like Goldilocks. And one of them, there was one person outside, so they didn't want to wait. The one at the top of the road, there was like 5 or 6 people in a queue outside. And the one in the middle was just perfect. There was no one queuing, so we could get straight in. And Mike has kindly got us some black coffees and some sausage pies. And we're going to sit and eat them here. And there's even a pretty mural just over there that we can look at. And we can watch the world go by, which is very nice. Do you know what's a mild but complete disaster? We finished the first course, sausage roll and coffee, very nice. Just want to go back for cake and coffee for seconds. There's a queue now. Nightmare.
Really lovely.
Well, that was the result. I walked over there and the queue cleared. We've gone from sausage pie to custard pie. I mean, who can resist the idea of a custard pie? It looks very nice. I don't want to get it out in case I drop it though. So Mike, yeah, just trust me on this, people. It smells gorgeous as well. Smell the cinnamon. And the dogs can smell it, but you're not having any because it's bad for you. And, oh God, you see, look, I can't put them down, I can't trust them. Mike, you're going to have to go, stop filming and we'll eat the pies. I hope you've enjoyed watching the film. The dogs have had a fantastic time. And Mike and I have had a great time. So there you go, it's all good. Yeah, and again, if you have any comments or thoughts, do please leave them below. And if you get a chance to like it, that'd be nice too. But apart from then, see you later. Oh.